What if I told you that you could take a $100 budget and turn it into $1 million budget in 90 days? Just hear me out. Much like the rest of you, I was working from home late into the evening one Friday night at the beginning of the stay-at-home order as the world around us crumbled in chaos. In my role as local liaison and manager, I'm not a program person, but I am a people person, and I believe we all play a role in helping Extension leverage resources and respond to community need. I had my TV on with the volume down low while I worked as a way to kind of stay on top of the information that was coming out. The local news had ended and the channel transitioned to regular programming, and that's when I heard over my TV speakers, on this season of Undercover Billionaire, watch as self-made billionaire Glenn Stearns is dropped off in rural Erie, Pennsylvania with a challenge to grow a $1 million business in 90 days with nothing more than a cell phone, a $100 bill, and an old beat-up pickup truck. My head snapped up immediately. I was like, wow, that sounds like Extension, right? I mean, often we ourselves are dropped in rural communities with an old beat-up pickup truck and a $100 budget and no contacts in a community. I watched all 8 episodes that night. And then I woke up the next day and I watched all 8 episodes again. The similarities were uncanny. Over the course of 90 days, Glenn Stearns built relationships, partnerships, and collaborations in a community where no one knew his name. At the end of 90 days, he built a $1 million barbecue and brew pub that has since been franchised across the country with online sales of sauces, rubs, and merchandise as added value. So how can we apply this same concept to what we do here in Extension? How do we turn $100 into a $1 million business? Well, we have the opportunity, while the rest of the world is on pause right now, to reposition what we do and how we do it. We have an opportunity to approach our work with an entrepreneurial lens, to reach outside of our social circles and diversify our stakeholder teams to build something much bigger, much better, and much more sustainable. Many of us in Extension have never owned or operated a business, but what if we did look at what we do through the eyes of a business owner or a franchise owner? If sales mattered, would you do things differently? How would you turn $100 into $1 million in 90 days if that was your challenge? That was the big question back in April as our community in Clatsop County, heavily reliant on tourism, recorded an astonishing 24.4% unemployment rate. It was the second highest unemployment rate in the entire state. I reached out to our Small Business Development Center as they were scrambling to get information and education out to flailing small business owners, and I asked them, where can OSU Extension help? In a matter of weeks, the SBDC, in partnership with OSU Extension in Clatsop County, put together a summer digital masterclass series that reached over 400 unique registrants and delivered both live and on-demand content to individuals on business planning, pivoting, marketing, messaging, and more. And we didn't stop there. We also brought in an OSU Extension intern full-time to provide even more support to small business owners during this critical time. By making stone soup with your community partners, leveraging your FTE and your county operational funds, you can turn a $100 budget into a $1 million budget in 90 days. But we need to be at the right table, and we need to expand our relationships in the community beyond our program areas. To do this, I urge us to form relationships with industry leaders, business owners, and organizations that support economic development. These individuals often have their finger on the pulse of the community, as most any community need can be linked back to economic development in some way. We should form relationships with city and county staff and elected leaders. They need to know who we are and what we're doing to best advocate for Extension at the local and state level. And in my opinion, the most valuable stakeholder group in my community is the OSU alumni community. We should reach out and include OSU alumni in our advisory committees, our steering committees, and include them in our local strategic plans. Alumni are our biggest advocates. They are fearless, they are devoted, they are well-connected, and most of all, they are family. Now let's talk a little about added value. Most businesses right now are scrambling to form a pivot plan and identify added value to keep their businesses afloat through the pandemic. Extension is no different. I believe Extension's added value is the prospect of providing access to degree programs in rural communities. This is something we are working hard to bring to Clatsop County in an effort to build back a more diverse economy in a post-pandemic world. I mean, just think about it. Each of our programs are connected to the college or the broader university. Each of our programs are providing pathways that align with degree programs within the various colleges at OSU. The added value is there, we just need to connect the dots. Let's take 4-H as an example. As it is today, our teams and our teams of volunteers invest countless hours and dollars in area youth. We provide research-based education in leadership, entrepreneurship, business management, agricultural sciences, and more. And then after 9 years, we send them out into the world and they're gone. But what if we could retain those youth in the OSU family for another 4 years? What if we could give them the space and the opportunity to obtain a 4-year college degree without ever leaving the community? What would the return on investment be if we developed the pipeline of individuals that became our next generation of state elected leaders, or our next generation of extension faculty, or our next generation of industry leaders? I urge us to take a look at how we can approach our work with an entrepreneurial lens, to make an investment in human capital, to leverage our brand, our university offerings, and create a sustainable business model for Extension. We have the physical footprint, we have the technology, we have the relationships with our university, industry, and community partners. We even have the startup cash flow, and we have been onboarding clients and prospective students for over 100 years. We are well positioned to create something amazing over the next 90 days, 90 months, and 90 years. Let us not pass up the opportunity to build out a successful business model in Extension. Profit or nonprofit, we all depend on a sustainable path forward. Thank you.